Hi guys, now I'll discuss about diagnosis of diabetes mellitus. So let's know about the normal values first of sugar levels, pre-diabetes and full-fledged diabetes mellitus. So four important tests I'll be discussing about. One is fasting blood glucose in milligram per deciliter, then 2-hour post glucose challenge test, then next is the HbA1c in percentage, and the last one is the random blood sugars when patient presents to you without any unpreparedness. So what are the normal values? Normal fasting blood glucose is less than 100 milligram per deciliter. So 2-hour post glucose challenge test is 140 and HbA1c is less than 5.6. RBS is less than 200. Okay, so what are the values for pre-diabetes? Here there are two things. One is according to American Diabetes Association, one is the World Health Organization. According to ADA guidelines, that is 100 to 125 milligram per deciliter. It is also called as impaired fasting glucose. Then one more is 110 to 125 milligram per deciliter according to WHO. Okay, this is also called as impaired fasting glucose. When it is less than 100, it is normal. Between 100 to 125, we consider it as impaired fasting glucose levels. Then coming to the 2-hour post glucose challenge test, anything between 140 to 199 is also called as impaired glucose tolerance. There is only single value for both. So it is 140 to 199 if the values are there with the 2-hour post glucose challenge, then it is impaired glucose tolerance. Whereas the HbA1c for pre-diabetes is 5.7 to 6.4%. Okay, so let's know the values for full-fledged diabetes mellitus. As we all know, pre-diabetes is up to 125, so it will be fasting glucose of more than or equal to 126. Even if it is 126, that means it is diabetes you can consider. Okay, so post 2 hour it will be definitely more than or equal to 200 and HbA1c of more than or equal to 6.5 and RBS of more than 200, along with that the presence of osmotic symptoms. Okay, so if a patient has RBS of more than 200 along with osmotic symptoms is very important, which I'll discuss next. So when do you diagnose? To call it as normal, all the above values should be normal. Okay, even a patient having normal FBG, normal 2-hour post glucose challenge test and normal HbA1c, then only you can say that person has normal, that is no diabetes or pre-diabetes. And for to call it as pre-diabetes, any one of the above values is abnormal, then you can consider it as pre-diabetes, either a presence of only impaired fasting glucose alone or the presence of impaired glucose tolerance alone, or if the HbA1c is between 5.7 to 6.4 with normal FBG and 2-hour postprandial challenge also, we should consider the patient is having pre-diabetes, because these patients are more prone to develop diabetes. So you need a close follow-up and with the lifestyle modification, right? So when do you call it diabetes is any one is abnormal. Okay, so we take it as abnormal. Okay, so to call it as pre-diabetes or diabetes, any one of the value is abnormal also, you can diagnose the patient is having either pre-diabetes or diabetes mellitus. But to call it as normal, all the four values should be within the normal limits. So for diabetes, as I said, based on RBS, if a patient presents to unpreparedness like in the afternoon or in the evening, he says diagnose me for diabetes, then you will usually go for the RBS, right? So if it is more than 200, you ask him for the osmotic symptoms. So what are the osmotic symptoms? One is polyuria, another one is polydipsia, the other one is weight loss. So these three are the cardinal features of diabetes. These are the osmotic symptoms. If the patient is having RBS of more than 200 with polyuria, polydipsia and weight loss, you can on spot diagnose the patient is having diabetes. Okay, so what is this oral glucose challenge test? This is the standard one. Okay, what we normally practice is 2-hour postprandial we give, but ideally when you want to diagnose diabetes for the first time, 2-hour post glucose challenge test is the standard method. Okay, oral glucose tolerance test following 75 gram of anhydrous glucose, which is given with water at least with 8 hours of no caloric intake. Okay, so 75 gram and 8 hours duration with no caloric intake is very important. These are the keywords. Okay, so this is the standard method that we should follow when we are diagnosing a patient for diabetes. When you are following up, you can just ask for post 2-hour postprandial, but when you want to diagnose for the first time, so the standard method is post OGTT you have to do for the 2-hour postprandial test. So let's know about pre-diabetes. These pre-diabetes, that means either impaired fasting glucose or impaired glucose tolerance, or HbA1c between 5.7 to 6.4. okay, so what are the synonyms for pre-diabetes? What are the other terms that we can use to call it as pre-diabetes? Is, according to ADA, it is also called as abnormal glucose homeostasis. Okay, and one more is, according to WHO, it is also called as intermediate hyperglycemia. These are the synonymous terms that can be used to call for pre-diabetes, either abnormal glucose homeostasis or intermediate hyperglycemia. So if a patient is asymptomatic, what is the best method to diagnose diabetes? Patient comes to you, just ask, he doesn't have any symptom, just ask for, diagnose me for diabetes. So most reliable method, reliable and also consistent test to be performed is, to diagnose is HbA1c, either with or without fasting plasma glucose levels. Either HbA1c can be done alone, or when combined with fasting plasma glucose, it is more reliable. Hope you have no doubts. Thank you.